Thanks for the F Shack. Love Dirty Mike and the boys.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys? How you know who we are?
What's this? They call it the podcast?
Morning Good.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to Tim's Braves Red Box.
Welcome to Morning Good.
We're on. Okay.
Yep.
We're here with Paddy Defino
Welcome to the show.
and Ryan O'Toole. And Ryan O'Toole, pussy finger.
Yeah.
You ever watch Summer? No, what was it? You ever watch that show Summer Heights High?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, Chris Lilly, he had this one show where he did like a similar thing, and he
what
played.
was it called?
I forgot what it's called, but it was
Yeah.
where he plays like 10 different characters. He
Yeah,
plays this
yeah.
one like guy. He's like, yeah, it's a tattoo I'm thinking about getting. It's just stars all over his face. He's just like an angsty teenager. And he goes, yeah, it's called pussy fingers. I invented that.
Yeah. I actually invented this.
Yeah.
Is it a British show?
Or I think it's from New
Australia.
Zealand.
Oh yeah, New Zealand.
okay.
New Zealand.
Dude, there's one at the last season he just did like full blackface. He was this guy named Smouse who was just a rapper, just like the most offensive blackface.
That show. Summer Heights High was so fucking good, dude.
Oh,
I remember-
Mr. G, like the
Oh
gay,
my
he's like
God,
the
dude.
gay music teacher.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
the head music teacher gets like dies, and then he goes into his office the next day and just wipes everything off the table and starts putting his shit up. Did you guys have a gay music teacher? Everybody had a gay music teacher. I feel
We
like.
had a gay teacher of the theater. I forget his name. I almost would have just said his name.
Yeah. You
But,
can say his name, man.
I can't even remember it.
yeah.
But like he was
Jasper.
like, everyone was like, he's not gay. Like all like the female students because they wanted to fuck him.
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
he's not gay. But like he had like a single earring and like
Yeah,
he did
yeah.
like a musical and stuff.
What an easy way, by the way. Not that we're rounding them up, but an easy way to identify the gays. It's like an
Yeah.
earring. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, it's
it
either
was a
that.
simple
It's
time.
either that or the cock in their ass.
Yeah. That gives it away.
That gives it away. That's a clear giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is also easy. I guess it is still easy to tell if somebody's gay.
Yeah. Well, some of them are hard.
Yeah.
Like it took me a long time to realize you were gay.
Yeah, dude, took me a long time too. Found out right before this podcast. I came out as gay.
You guys have no idea about me. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of women over to this apartment.
Yeah,
yeah.
Everyone knows sex with a woman is very
That's
quiet.
Yeah.
Sex with a man is what's ringing down the hallways.
Yes.
It'd be really funny for somebody to like have sex with a dude and be like, "Can you make woman noises though, so nobody thinks I'm gay?" So just the gay like, "Oh yeah." I guess it's not far off, but
Yeah, shove it in my pussy.
Yeah.
So what are you drinking there?
All right, so it took very little to convince me. Ryan's like, you want a glass of whiskey immediately? I was like, yeah. I mean, it's like,
Well, I
what?
was just offering drinks. I was like, you want water, whatever the fuck, and then I offered booze.
Yeah. I always think it's gonna improve the episode, but I'll
wasn't,
probably
like,
just trail off at
forcing
some
it.
point.
Yeah, I wasn't forcing anything.
You did
No,
not-
and I am the only one drinking whiskey right now.
You
It's all
pulled
right.
like a
It's
move.
3:30 in the afternoon.
But it's Saturday though.
Yeah,
It's-
right, you're
Football's on the TV. I don't even watch football. I'm like, it's football season.
Marathons tomorrow. It's all right. Don't worry.
You
about
pulled what the dad pulls in like an Applebee's, where he's like, "I'd like to hear the list of draft beer, please."
Yeah.
And then they start going through, and they get to like Allagash White, and he's like, "I'll have an Allagash.
Yeah.
I'll have a whiskey."
Yeah.
I miss day drinking so much.
Oh,
that
it's
was
the best
the
time.
Well, I don't have any
most
spots tonight,
fun.
so I'm like, I'll have
Yeah.
one drink, and then I'm like, oh, I could do a show after one drink. I'm still
For
gonna hang
sure.
out, and try to get on something, but
If I didn't have comedy tonight, I would be joining you right now.
yeah.
Dude, I really miss that. I miss like just getting fucking hammered. Someone has to drive, like to go somewhere.
But not you.
But not you. You're just
Yeah.
in the back drinking in the car with the sun out. There's like kids
How
getting
long's it
picked up
been
from
since you
school.
haven't drank?
Almost 2 years.
Wow.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. I remember
Yeah.
I saw one of the
2
last
years,
drunks.
dude.
You were just I remember I saw you at the comedy shop, just like drinking by yourself one time. I was like, I hope Patty's gonna be okay. You're like,
I
yeah,
wonder
man,
if-
I don't know. I just like getting drunk.
Oh, really? That's what I said. I don't even remember that when that was.
Probably because you were a degenerate alcoholic.
Yeah, probably. I don't like even think of myself as that.
I was
way.
gonna say, where do you rank yourself on drinking problem, like 1 to 10?
It's probably like a 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It's not a 10. Like I didn't like
Yeah.
I didn't like crave the bottle in the morning or anything like that, but it would just be like every night I'd have at least a beer, and then that would turn into like 4. And then on the
7
weekend,
every single day.
every single day, and then the weekend it was like if I would be like stumbling and
Was
in
it
the
hot?
park doing cocaine from some guy.
Okay.
Like
You have
it-
you have a problem.
Yeah, it
Was
would
it-
always turn into cocaine and cigarettes.
Was it hard to stop?
No, because I was just super depressed. I was
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
walking around like in the general direction of bridges, being like, "This is gonna."
Every
You
time.
think
gonna
about
do it.
jumping?
Yeah, but then I'm like, you don't actually do it.
Yeah, waiting
Yeah.
for the train every day. Be like,
Yeah,
1
yeah,
second
yeah.
before.
See,
you
I'm
know?
so like, it's so funny because I've like hated myself and hated my life, but I've never thought about killing. Like, I like thought about it's great. Everybody sees like you're on like a mountain. You're like, what if I jump off? But
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
actually planned to. For me, it's like I'm so scared of what's on the other side that I'm like, there's no way. Because like, what if it's just marginally worse? Like I've always thought about this.
Yeah.
Like, what if like the other side is just this life, but then once a week a guy in roller skates hits you in the balls, and it's like
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
the same. You're like, I kill myself for this, which is like slightly worse.
Yeah.
Or you could get raped by demons. You know.
Well, I smoked DMT. So
Yeah,
I
so you
know
went
what's
on the other side. Yeah.
And it is beautiful. And I just, after smoking DMT, I'm like, there's no doubt that there's an afterlife and a God and however long that lasts or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
because
like,
people
I
say
don't-
you said that feels more real than this.
Yeah, it was the most like beautiful, prolific thing
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
ever experienced.
Wait,
And-
prolific? I thought prolific means like a large library. Like if you say a musician's prolific, you're like, oh, he has lots of music. Profound?
profound,
Yeah, yeah,
profound.
yeah.
Sorry, I thought I was stepping on your.
I
Yeah,
think you could still use the word prolific, though, couldn't you?
Not for that.
yeah. There's a large library of pussy in the afterlife.
can,
Nothing like putting your
can you
pussy
turn
in
off
a
the TV, by the way? It's
Dewey
distracting.
Decimal
It's
system.
behind you, I think.
Okay,
It's
it's
on the table. It doesn't matter which one. Just hit power.
all right. There we go.
Doesn't matter.
I got multiple television.
He hits when your
remotes.
bed
Can I
just
not-
flies up.
Can I not talk about your address, but talk about the weird number in your address if I don't give it away?
Yeah, but before you say this, just know if anyone tries trespassing at my house, I am armed. So not with a golf club either. Can I put a gun on the podcast?
Yeah,
Can we
for
do that?
sure.
All right. Well, I don't want to mess up the lights, but
Dude, bring your gun out of the
How
podcast.
big is it?
yeah, I have to. But yeah, well, go ahead. What were you talking about?
He has a half in his address. And I thought he
Yeah.
was fucking with me. He goes, I live at what so and so half.
Yeah, that's
Like I'm gonna make up a different one, like 905 half 21st Street.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
like, okay, what's 905 and a half? And then I fucking
that's
show up
like-
and there's half.
yeah.
It's like a Harry Potter thing. Where
Yeah,
you're
it's like where you buy weed in college. There's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like a half
Well,
house.
I think there's a lot of halves in like England and shit like that. You know.
I've never once
Yeah.
seen it in New York.
Yeah. No, I have. I've seen him. I know someone else who lives in a fractioned house. It's like 1/3, honestly.
yeah,
That's so.
Boston, there's a couple too. I know.
I
one of
thought
my
it was gonna
buddies-
be like half, like you're gonna go in like sideways, like you know what I mean. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be like a thin
I think
hallway.
it's because there was a. I think it's because it was probably part of either this building or that building. I would imagine. They are- and
yeah.
all these buildings, all the way to the corner to like down, are all connected. Like there's no break in the building. So like
Okay.
I would imagine that this was probably part of that building or that building, and then it sold off.
Okay. It felt like a Harry Potter thing where I would run through the brick wall. Like, isn't
Yeah,
that the Harry
yeah.
Potter thing? It's like
platform
Yeah.
9 3/4.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 yeah. It's like because there's
What, a
two
garage?
businesses. There's two businesses next to it, and they're like the butt cheeks. And
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
squeeze people out of them.
I like to think of them as the legs, and I'm walking up the pussy of the home.
Just an upstairs.
But yeah, this is my
pussy.
home. You know,
Yeah, this is sweet, dude. I really like.
I don't know
it.
how long they raised my rent by like a lot of money.
Dude, that's the part that sucks.
A
Jake, 'cause
lot.
My rent in my last place that I split up with my ex in, they raised it by $30. I was like, God damn it. That's like the best
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
scenario. Now just some strangers gonna end up living there. So
Yeah, I'm not leaving easy. I'm gonna put it that way.
I'm not going out there to fight.
Yeah, the gun will come
I
out.
don't think it's right that how much money they raised my rent by.
Oh, it's wild. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it
But
should
But
be
also, I've tried to
illegal.
fight that shit. Like,
I think it should too.
Yeah, what they should just do is make it colder. Like
Well,
instead of
do you know? I'm not gonna lie.
well, they do that to kick out people that have rent
Listen.
control apartments.
I
Oh.
did the other day. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, because I'm like, what the fuck? I paid my rent, did all my shit, and I didn't have cold water here for like literally
whiskey
like
sucks.
3 days, dude.
wow.
I don't know if it was intent. I mean, it just happens sometimes, you know.
Sometimes
I don't
it
care. though.
happens a lot.
I don't
though.
care. The only reason I want to have warm water is to wash my dishes. I'll take a fucking cold shower. I don't
Yeah,
give
yeah.
a fuck about that. But I was like, oh, this is weird. You know?
Yeah, that is.
Dude, that's the shit I hate. I've been living with Jake and Eli, and they like occasionally just won't have heat. So I'm just sleeping in like full hoodies.
Yeah.
And I was saying I was jerking off the other day like a predator. Like I
Yeah.
literally was just like,
Bro, that house in the summertime feels like Iraq too, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
hot in there, dude.
yeah, there's no middle
It's
ground
like,
there.
bro, I every time I walk in there, I'm like, dude, it is Africa in here right now.
Yeah, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
There's
Like,
just no good New York City apartment.
you gotta
You
be
know what
rich.
is crazy? Also about Africa, kind of unrelated. Who gives a shit? You know how every society's hell is like burning? their hell is cold because
Yeah.
that's not scary to them. Something
Yeah,
being
yeah.
hot, they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I can't imagine a hell where
Yeah,
everything is cold.
Yeah. Really? Is that true?
Yeah, the afterlife for like some African tribe. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We were joking about the other day. It's like, imagine a world where your mangoes are frozen and you can't eat them.
And there's no blender to break them down.
Yeah.
You cannot consume your mangoes.
Yeah, that's tough.
That is tough. I'd still probably they probably have more space in a fucking hut in the savannah or safari, whatever. Savannah desert. What desert?
I don't know where this is. No,
Sahara.
Savannah's in Georgia.
Yeah.
Sahara Desert.
They show up to Savannah, Georgia, like in safari outfit. Just like,
Yeah,
let's
just
do
in
some
like
giraffes.
a
I've heard
straw
that place is
hut.
lit.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those old town places where like you go on a ghost tour, and yeah, that was the okay.
This
Yeah.
kid I used to play baseball with in high school is now the announcer for the Savannah Bananas. Have you ever seen that? Yeah.
That's
That is
cool.
a hilarious.
Have you ever
team
seen
name.
that team, dude? They do like flips and shit when they're
Yeah.
catching fly balls.
They always have like random old players from the 2000s and shit.
Yeah,
See, I like that. That's better than them taking themselves seriously in the gym room, like the locker room, and the coach is giving a serious speech. He's like, they will remember the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because like, how could you be like, we
Yeah, they
got
just have giant cowboy hats on.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, yeah.
we got demolished by the Savannah Bananas.
They wear like cutoff jerseys. Like Kevin Youkilis had a plate appearance.
Yeah. That's always like cool old players and like celebrities.
Dude, I bet you get a lot of like local puss doing that. Just being like, I'm on the
Oh,
Savannah
yeah,
Bananas. Like but you're just the fun
Well,
guy.
now it's
Yeah.
like popular. Bro, they're playing at Fenway Park next year.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
so
like
it's like the
pop-
Harlem Globetrotters but for
Kind of,
baseball.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like new, so it's like people really like it.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Dude, somebody asked me that question the other day. They're like, they had a serious face. They're like, "So, do you ever see the Harlem Globetrotters in Harlem?" I'm like, "What?
They
I
have
think they're just
yeah.
going
Yeah.
around playing basketball,
They're
doing tricks.
trotting the globe.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
staying in Harlem.
Yeah,
Yeah, just walking around like, hey, what's it? Like everyone knows who they are.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of money. I don't think they're hanging out in Harlem.
Dude, I used to idolize them, so I thought they were so
Do
much
they
better.
have a lot of money, the Harlem Globetrotters?
I
no idea.
doubt it, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
You don't think
no
so?
way.
They were on In my mind, I'm like, they were on Scooby Doo. They were animated. They have to have lots of
yeah,
money
in
if they were.
1967.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one. They definitely.
I mean,
fucked
I'm
them.
sure they're not struggling, but like, I don't think they're like, I don't think they're just like, oh yeah, my rent goes up by $1,400. I'm
Yeah.
fine, you know.
Yeah.
And they'd play against the Generals, which was like an all-white basketball team. And they'd win by like 70.
Yeah.
But the
Just the
irony,
Confederate uniforms.
yeah, the irony is that like I bet every single person on the Generals knew how to negotiate a contract better than
Oh yeah.
the Harlem Globetrotters. The Globetrotters were just like, yeah, what? Do I get to flip it over my shoulder from half court?
Yeah, the Globetrotters are cool. My grandmother brought me when I was a kid, and I remember it was at the Boston Garden, and she fucking got me a laser pointer on the street afterwards, and I just raised hell with this fucking thing, dude. She got me a laser pointer, and I remember they used to have like the shapes, like you'd put the cap on, and like it would look like a spaceship or something.
Yeah.
Oh, laser pointer?
Yeah.
They said a razor pointer.
No, a laser pointer.
Okay.
Yeah.
She got me that, and I remember being on the train, going home. We're on the train, and I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." And then I remember going to my house and just putting it in my neighbor's windows, and like, it was the funniest thing in the world to me because like people like looking out and shit, dude. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I know somebody in DC, like my elementary school took a trip there, and the year before me, the ones that went there
Took a trip where?
to Washington, DC, and some kid had a laser pointer, and the bus got like pulled over by the cops because they thought he was like a terrorist.
DC sniper, baby. You know.
Dude, that's such a funny thing too to be like, just go to the airport. I don't think there's any rules against laser pointers, but just be pointing a laser pointer.
I feel like
I think
now
there
there
are,
is.
yeah.
I feel like now there
Yeah.
is because like when I was doing this was in like 2000, and like I don't think people were freaking out about red dots and shit.
yeah,
Pre 9/11, dude.
Yeah,
When
now they
life
care a
was
lot if you have a red
definitely
dot on your head.
9/11.
That's the one they're scared of.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, can you push that down, by the way? Just the top thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like giving North Korea a nuke is giving a kid one of those. I always
Oh, yeah.
wanted one,
Yeah.
but like I was never allowed to have. I also remember this. You remember Heelys?
Yeah.
Dude, you could fly
had a pair.
around. I used to go to this like a church thing when I was a kid where you like get ready for confirmation, and there'd be these classes at night, and every night there was this one class where everybody in the class had Heelys except me.
Yeah.
So, because my parents wouldn't buy me them, they're like, "No, these are
These
so
are
expensive.
satanic."
You're never." Yeah, exactly. You're gonna wheel
You're
your
telling
way.
me you got wheels on your
Yeah.
feet?
You're gonna
That's
wheel
the
your way
devil's work.
right into a man's ass.
Yeah.
Yay. But I didn't have them, so I just had these shoes that were really slippery. just like
Just falling all over the
slide
place.
around.
I put motor oil on the bottom of my feet.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
around
Were
there.
Heelys expensive?
Yeah, they were like $90 back in
Really?
like the day where
Wow.
shoes were like 30.
I never
you know?
even wanted a pair.
I remember
Yeah.
like my thing was me and my brother. So skateboarding shoes were cool at the time. I had the Bam Audios, which were fucking sick. It was a
Was that Bam Margera?
Yeah, it was a pentagram with a heart. So it was like a heart and then like the
Yeah.
top of a pentagram instead of being pointed. And I remember my friend got them too, and he's like, "Dude, but notice a lot of chicks looking at me now. I got these cool Bam Margera sneakers." But then my brother was at the store, and because Heelys were thick, he's like, "Oh, these are basically skateboard shoes."
Yeah.
Then he'd wear them, and then he'd take the wheels out, and then try to like skateboard with them on.
Yeah, no, they're like steel toe Timberlands.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
clunky.
Oh, they're
and-
not skateboarding shoes?
No, because they have to have all this like.
I don't even remember
support.
what they look like.
They look like Vans with like a big thick platform on the bottom. But
Yeah.
and then the thing, it didn't like easily remove. You know, you had to
No,
like,
you had to, like,
get a tool
Yeah,
and
yeah,
carve
yeah.
it out. It was
Yeah.
like taking an eyeball out
Did
of
you have
someone.
them, Michael Good?
No. I was like, I was into skateboarding culture, but I was terrible at skateboarding. I was like, dude, I'm gonna listen to like some pop punk. I'm gonna watch Viva La Bam. I'm gonna
Yeah.
like do all this stuff, but then just be terrible at skateboarding.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
never into that shit. And looking back, I like wish I knew how to skateboard.
yeah.
Like
well, it's-
now, because I've skated. Like I skated a couple years ago. Like just I can't do tricks, but I could go around on the board and shit.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is so fun. I wish I did this when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, but it's also like now falling as an adult hurts so bad. Dude. I fell on
Yeah.
a skateboard recently. I was like, I am too fat for this. Like it fucking hurts really bad.
Yeah.
But it is crazy too to see like Bam Margera is just like a fat drunk. But
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Barely.
Didn't he?
There
Yeah.
might be-
Didn't something happen like very recently with him?
Dude, it's every other week. My favorite thing he did is
I thought he died.
he his whole family's like trying to get him help and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he shot a rap diss video against them, which is my buddy's like, that is the funniest response to an intervention. Be like, y'all are fucking hating ass bitches. That's
Yeah.
why you don't like me.
Yeah. And he is fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Dude, so much drugs.
So
yeah.
I guess he like threatened his brother and her wife or something.
Well,
like-
but, I will say this: it is so funny because all the news articles are like he went to Casa La Bam, And, like it was
Yeah.
he was last seen at Casa La Bam claiming to shoot his brother and his wife, and then running into the forest.
yeah,
And
yeah.
his dad was like a pedophile or something, right?
Uncle Vito, look, R.I.P. But
He
rest
died.
in
That's right.
pedophile.
Right, he died. Yeah, he had child porn, right?
I don't know if it was child porn, but like he grabbed like some 15-year-old girl's ass. And it was
Oh,
like, yeah, that's not a surprise.
Oh,
to the guy.
dude, that's just called being a white dad.
yeah,
That was the guy that used to like wake up in the middle of the night on the show, right?
yeah.
He'd like light off fireworks
Yeah, if
in his
anything,
bedroom.
it's like shock syndrome to his nervous every time just waking up in the middle of the night. He probably
Yeah.
turned him into a pedophile
know.
for scaring him.
yeah. Well, he was just the guy was literally a monster. He's just like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like he was just a blob of human who had like no chin. And then he's like, I'm gonna go beat the shit out of Vito and shove a dildo up his ass.
Yeah.
And then
So what happened? He threatened his like whatever brother. I don't remember who it was, and their wife.
his brother, who's like the drummer for what's that band? CKY.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he fled into the woods, and they found him and checked him into rehab. And then the
Is he
lady,
living in the woods?
I think he was just like,
Yo, this is running from the cops and
Yeah.
living in the woods.
yeah. He's just like
Fucking
in a
drink my own
suburban
piss.
backyard.
Dude, I would love a POV him doing Jackass, just him and his drug addict stuff. He's like, I'm gonna snort some fucking crystal, man.
Yeah. And then he got checked. He got checked into rehab, and then a week later he checked himself out. And the headline was Bam Margera checked himself out, saying that he's like totally fine. He was last seen entering Las Vegas.
Dude, probably he looks so sick and retarded at the same
He's
time.
like fat now too, right?
He's fat. He's got a grill and a fur coat. He's like
yeah.
on the fringe of pimp and emo. It's
Yeah.
the funniest look, and he just looks like a fucking idiot.
I always thought he was annoying. I watched that show like time and time again, and
Thought he was the
people
coolest
loved-
guy in the
yeah,
world,
I felt
dude.
like everyone did.
They
And I'm
just
like,
go
I
to
can't
one of those
stand this
beanies
guy.
with the brim on it. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a beanie, but it's got a little hat
Yeah,
brim
yeah.
turned to the side. He's
Couldn't
wearing like etnies.
stand that dude.
Thought he was a chain wallet. I was like, that guy fucking doesn't
Yeah,
care
yeah.
about anything. He's a bitch to his mom. That was the coolest
Yeah.
part, being like a 13, be like, that guy's so mean to his mom.
Yeah, every high school too had like a substitute teacher that just was Bam Margera.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's one guy who got let in. Our guy was Mr. Candilis, and he was like a skateboarder, and he was so high like all the time.
Yeah.
And like we were young, but we still knew he was high too. So
Yeah.
that was like the best because you'd all just like you just ask him questions that have no answer to it. You're like, where do I start when I'm drawing a circle? And he's like, oh well. We're all just shitting our pants.
It's true because like you see it, like that's one of the beautiful things of comedy and like being an adult is you meet more people that have real jobs, and like you'll meet someone who's a fucking substitute teacher at like an open mic, and you're like, I can't believe this person's in charge of children for
Yeah.
like.
Oh, it's wild.
That's been.
yeah.
I feel like there's been multiple substitute teachers I've met, and I'm like, this is crazy. You're in charge
Joe
of kids.
Senrock. Could you
Yeah.
imagine being in his fucking
He was a substitute. I used to
him
say it
just
all the
staring
time.
at you like
I used to call him all the time. I was like, dude, I'm like, the fact that you're in charge of kids is fucking insane. You're a sicko.
It's so wild too. And then you were always taught as a kid, you're like, respect adults. I'm like, and even as a kid, I was like, I don't respect any of these people.
No,
They're
yeah.
losers.
Degenerates. I had it was my friend, one of my good friends in high school, his older brother was like 25, and we were like 17 at the time, and we would party at his house on like weeknights. All the time we would, but one time we were getting drunk on like a Wednesday, and we stayed up to like 3 a.m, and like I remember, but some of his friends were there, like they were like 7 or 8 years older than us at the time, and doing fucking coke, doing everything. I go into school the next day, dude. First period, I'll never forget. It was like this photography class. And one of the guys that I was getting drunk with, I wasn't doing coke, but he was out of his mind on cocaine, was the substitute teacher. I had no idea he was a teacher. I was like, dude, are you serious? He's like, don't say anything. Like, I'm like, bro, I can smell booze coming out of your like skin right now, dude. Clearly didn't sleep, dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was like all coked out at like 8 a.m. I'm like, you're here all day. Like,
It's so crazy.
operating a
insane.
camera.
That's when they wheel out like the Bill Nye the Science Guy video.
Yeah.
oh, we did nothing. And I remember
Yeah.
sitting there the entire day in class, and we were just like talking about the Celtics, like and this guy's just like coming down off of drugs.
Yeah, you'd have some cool ones though. That like I remember I had one where I would just watch Family Guy in the back of the class on my headphones, just on Netflix on my phone, and then the whole class would be like talking about something, and I'd just go in the back.
That was the best. Like, I always thought the funniest parts of school was like when you weren't supposed to laugh when something funny happened, because
Oh,
it makes
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
1,000 times funnier.
Oh, so much funnier. Yeah.
Did you guys remember like the big laughs you got when you were in high school?
Yeah, I did like
Oh,
a
yeah.
serious Spanish presentation. We had the teacher, her name was that she looked like Dora the Explorer. And the first day she went in, Mrs. Kami something. And I remember the first day she's like, a lot of people think that Mexico is just cactusy and donkey. But it's a real city. They have real cities there. And she's just like adorable. Like
Starts teaching you about El Chapo. And
yeah.
Montezuma's curse.
She accidentally, it's like a button on the projector. It just shows like people beheaded. You're like, oh, that's different. But it is funny to pretend like Mexico is not just a fucking wasteland. It's like, I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it. They have, that's your baseline. They're like, oh no, we have real cities there. I'm like, I'm sure they have real cities.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
of those cities, there's kids getting their limbs cut off. Maybe not that, but there's a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, my big laugh was I did like a presentation. They're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, oh, I'm going to go all in and do the most intense presentation about me wanting to be an astronaut. So I'm like going down the aisles. I'm like,
How old were you?
I was like 17. I was like, un astronauta. Because every other kid's being like a pussy, and they're like, ese un doctor. And I'm just like getting in the aisle. I'm like, it's space. Just going. I fucking murdered because everyone's laughing. So I was looking for a Buzz Lightyear outfit the day before, and I'm like, dude, if I came in, I was thinking about getting a fog machine and just like, because I knew everybody's gonna nervously do a presentation. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, if I just fucking go all in.
You should have dressed up as that, that his like Spanish bee in the TV show.
Yeah.
Like a fishbowl over your head. Soy Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Tenemos un Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
I remember my.
Wait, who are those three guys? Real quick, I hate to cut you off.
No, you're good.
We were in Texas, and on the wall there was a painted mural
Yeah.
of these like three Mexican guys, which is like their Three Stooges.
yeah. What
It was
their
like
names?
Gordo, El Stinky. I'm like making it up, but they were just
Yeah.
like the most goofy looking guys, and they were like just painted on the wall.
Yeah. They probably had to paint it themselves.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But Yeah, me and my friend used to get big laughs in our Spanish class because our teacher had like a knee surgery, and her name was Senora Popko. And she was always out of breath and would talk like this. And she had this like scooter attachment for her legs, so when she walked around, she would take a step and then like scoot it.
Yeah.
So she was not very mobile. But we would like leave the class to go to the bathroom, and we'd come back and we'd get to the door and we'd just grab the handle and like just hold it like it's locked. Then we'd like knock on the door and she'd be like, "The door is open." And we're like, "No, it's not. And she would, "Oh, okay," and just start like like slowly making her way across the entire room. And like right as her hand's about to touch it, we would just open the door.
That's gonna come back and get you in 50 years, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna come back and get you, dude.
And she'd be like, "Oh, okay, sit down." I remember I almost got a referral in that class because it was Halloween.
What's a referral?
Or no,
It's like a write-up.
yeah, it's like a write. Like you have to go to the dean and stuff. It was April Fool's Day, and this was right after the HPV vaccine was like just hitting. So like
They were
all
trying
of-
to push that on everybody. They're like, "Are you sexually
Yeah.
active?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I am. But I'm not taking your fucking." I was an anti-vaxxer and like,
Oh, bro.
but just because I was scared of needles, I was like, "That's the kind of poison you're gonna put in my body." But
Yeah,
really, I was
yeah.
like, "Don't prick me. It's gonna hurt."
dude.
but it was really big for young women because like
Yeah, yeah.
it's more dangerous for women. So like all of these young women were getting this vaccine, and then they would have seizures in class.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we had like 6 or 7 different girls who would have seizures, and one of them was like real bad. It would happen like all the time. And so I was April Fool's, and I told everyone in the class, I'm like, when the clock strikes 12, we're all gonna drop onto the ground and have a seizure at the same time. Like, there's no way. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." Like, blah, blah, blah. So, like, the clock is ticking and it's getting closer. And I'm like looking around. I'm like so excited. And everyone's like kind of looking at me. And I keep, when you see like the bulge in their neck, like from like gulping, like,
Yeah.
like they're all like getting nervous. So it hits and I just fucking drop onto the ground. And I'm just like spazzing out. And I just hear, "Paddy, what are you doing?" And I look around, nobody else dropped. It was just me. So I just like got up and she's like, "Go to the dean's office." And I was like, I didn't know what to say. So I was just like, "No." And she's like, "All right, well, you better knock it off." She just totally like allowed me to not
Just
go.
roll on the ground. Yeah, pretend
yeah.
you have a seizure.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
I wanted to do that during the COVID vaccine because there was that place where you all sat in an area. Like you were all sitting in one area to make sure there's no side effects.
Yeah.
Which is so funny for them being like,
yeah.
them being like, "It's very safe, but just wait here for 10 minutes."
Yeah.
And I so badly wanted to just roll on the ground, and start foaming from the mouth just to fuck with people. Like, how freaked out would you be if the guy next to you just like,
yeah. Pretty freaked out, especially since I got the Johnson & Johnson. They
Yeah,
stuck
yeah.
like 3 doctors on me after.
yeah,
They like just circled around me. I'm like, wait a minute, like, because everyone else got Pfizer
yeah,
or some shit. Dude, they even asked me, like, I was like, "I'll go Johnson & Johnson." They're like, "Are you sure?" It's like, yeah, I don't
Well,
want to
why'd you
fucking
pick
come
that
back.
one?
I didn't want to come back for a second one.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
$100 to get it.
Someone
Now I
paid
have to
you?
wear these stockings every day for the rest of
Yeah,
my
your
life.
legs are fucked up.
Yeah,
You think that's why it is?
I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of people that have had like blood clots in their leg, like in the same
From
spot
Johnson
in
and
their leg,
Johnson's?
who've gotten Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, a lot of young men getting blood clots.
Yeah. What about
So-
broads?
Dude, nothing ever happens to
Yeah.
women.
They got it easy. They
They get 70% of the blood clots. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. What about you? Did you do any cool, funny pranks in
Yeah, I think
school?
one of the funniest things I ever did was we had like a homework assignment and it was online and my teacher was a cunt and he said something to me one day in class that I like really didn't like. I forget what it was. Something like he pretty much called me a lowlife and we went back and forth, but like I couldn't call him a piece of shit because I would have got suspended. So I'm like, I'll just do it on homework. I don't care. So it was like a message board. It was like this sports journalism class where like we like reviewed sports articles. And so I went on the board and I like wrote my name as like a fake name and just fucking started killing this guy. And then two of my buddies started going in and like writing as other people like with their names covered up. And then like writing as other students in the class, then like writing as the teacher. Like one of my buddies wrote his name as Mr. Harris and like was criticizing this kid who got drunk and fucked up a football game, which like we all knew happened. He's like, yeah, maybe if you weren't so fucking shit faced all the time.
Would you just as the teacher?
Yeah, because you would like sign into you would sign into the homework and you would like it would say username, but you could just type any username. But you were supposed to put like fucking Ryan O'Toole or whatever.
Yeah.
And my buddy wrote Mr. Harris and then he wrote on this kid, like, you're always drunk. That's why you dropped 3 passes last week. Like, just, bro. And it was hilarious. We did it on a Thursday, so we knew we would just have to go
Make
to
it through one more day.
Yeah.
And then it's a clean slate.
Yeah. Bro, we go to school the next day. I'll never forget it. It was 6th period. It was the second to last period of the day, right? We're looking forward to it the entire day. We're like, dude, we got to go into Harris's class. Like, and we wrote wild shit. Like, bro, like my buddy. Bro, one of my buddies took it way over the top, talking about like wanting to bang girls, like just like set it into a place where it was like just over the top. Bro, we go into class. The teacher's not in there for the first like 2-3 minutes, and everyone knows what happens because everyone saw the
everyone's in
home. Like
class,
you see the comments, right? He called one girl like fire crotch because she had red hair, but he did it under the teacher's name. We did it under the teacher's name, right? Dude, we go into this class. He's not there for the first 2 or 3 minutes. This guy comes into class. He was like a smaller guy, like the Napoleon thing. He's a nerd, you know what I mean? But he was a cunt. The guy was the worst, dude. He comes in, he slams the door, dude. He fucking goes off, dude. He tried getting everyone to snitch on each other. And, there's 25 kids in the class, but
Every kid should have been like, I'm not comfortable in his class.
kids
After the
weren't.
things he
Bro,
said.
kids weren't. Kids were like freaking out. This guy went like over the top.
Well, because some people probably did everybody know it wasn't him?
Oh yeah, dude. Of course, dude. Of course. Like, and like the whole entire school knew about it. And also, like, there was me and my 2 friends. We never told anyone else. But one of my other very good friends was in the class, and he knew. Like when he saw, I remember him calling me that night. He's like, "I know you guys did this," and we didn't. He wasn't gonna snitch. Everyone in the class knew we did it. You know what I mean? Because all nerds and shit. We sat through this class, bro, for, I don't know, 45 minutes, however long classes were in high school, just trying not to laugh the entire time. He was like, I'm going to track the IP address if I have to get the federal government involved. Dude,
I love they always pull some shit like that. They're like,
God.
you're going to be arrested for this. Like, this isn't a crime.
It wasn't even illegal. Dude, so after the class, I told my buddy who did it with me, I was like, yo, meet me in this specific bathroom. We split up after class, dude. I went in the bathroom and I cried laughing and pissing my pants for like 20 minutes straight, dude. Like, I can't go to class, right? Dude, I was dude.
It's like the shower scene when he's in the shower hearing about it on the radio in Goodfellas, where he's just like,
it was
we pulled it off.
Dude, we were laughing. I remember I was in the bathroom and I was laughing so hard I was starting to literally piss my pants, and I was like going to the urinal to like pull my pants down, and I'm just laughing and pissing like nonstop, dude. And I showed up to class. The next class was my English class, like 20 minutes late. My teacher's like, what happened? And I was like, I pulled him outside. I was like, dude, I had to take a nasty shit, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and it was awesome. Went back to school on Monday, and like they shut the thing down. And I remember he's like, I know who it is. He couldn't prove it. You know what I mean? And he knew it was us. And I saw that guy. I saw that teacher at a bar, like, I don't know, 5 years after I graduated.
Called the waitress fire crotch. This wasn't far off.
Dude, yeah, I know.
Hey, fire crotch, need some wings.
He's behaving. The thing was, so I saw him a couple years like after I got out of high school, and I don't think he probably remembered me from that because I didn't have him for any other classes, and I remember him just looking at me, and I was like, I got you, motherfucker. I got you.
Just start putting drinks on his tab.
The funniest part, though, he was cool in the sense we wrote his other students' names, and he was the ones where they're criticizing the kid about getting drunk and fucking up the football game. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, like that was pretty fun. You know, he's like pretty much saying, he's like, I can't say it because like my buddies went. I went on there and just wrote "fuck you." I like put like a blank name in. I think I put it under anonymous, and I was like, "Fuck you, Mr. Harris, you're a dick." Like I was just a pissed off 16-year-old.
Yeah.
But my buddies, one of my friends, took it to the next level, just commenting on people's other comments on the homework, calling them retards and shit. Like it was like, dude, it was so funny, dude. It was the longest day of school because the anticipation was just like.
Yeah.
We're like, dude, we got to go to this class at like, I don't know, 12:30 or 1 o'clock or whatever. Like the anticipation was like so strong, dude. It was, oh man, it was great.
Dude, there's always those kids in high school who just like you have the like idea for a joke or a bit or something, and they just take it and run it. Fucking
Oh,
Dude,
man.
the
so
creativity
far.
level is like insane.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you meet some of these people now. They're like, "Yeah, no, I'm just a doctor." I'm like, "What happened?
yeah,
dude?
yeah.
You were somebody. Yeah,
I had a
you
friend
were a
who
genius prankster."
I had a friend who started a rumor about this girl that she had 2 buttholes, and he like bought a T-shirt for her that said "I have 2 buttholes" on it, and the rumor spread like towns over
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like asking people about
The
it. and
doctors
stuff.
are coming. They're like, "There's
Yeah.
a woman who has 2 buttholes. We're
There's
going
like
to study this."
Yeah, there's like a presentation in the auditorium. You can't be mean to people just because of the amount of buttholes. Yeah. Yeah, they would always do that.
Yeah, 2 buttholes to give a speech just to make her feel. It's like some people just got 2 of them.
He's just like waddling in, and she's actually like getting married to one of my best friends now.
yeah. Well, good for him. He's got 2 places to put it.
Exactly.
3
dude.
places, 4 places.
Do I hear 5?
Yeah. Well, that was the funny thing is like rumors like that were hilarious. There's some chick who's really hot at the time. You know, we were all 15.
Yeah.
And
15 hot.
yeah. I'm not going to get into this. I'm not going to justify any of this. I'm just going to say
Yeah,
she's an attractive girl our age. And there's a rumor that she was like a hermaphrodite. So she had a penis.
Yeah.
And I remember like weighing it out in my head. I'm like, I could risk hooking up with the hottest girl in school, or I could risk hooking up with somebody with a penis,
Yeah.
which was called the dude back then. But times have changed.
Yeah. That's always a rumor. I feel like.
You went on to make that mistake.
Yeah, I went on to fuck a girl who. Dude, that was the funniest. I don't want to talk too much about my dating life, but I went on the funniest one recently where I was talking to this girl and somehow it came up that I banged a trans woman. I can't make it fucking 5 minutes though talking about how I banged a trans woman by accident. It comes up so much. And when I was in my last relationship,
It's never not going to be funny.
it's
dude.
always
You'll
funny.
be in
It's
your
always funny that-
50s, dude.
Was it? Did she have a vagina?
yeah, have you not heard my
dude,
bit?
that's just a woman.
Yeah.
That's more of a woman. You're almost a
It's more
pedophile with the youth and that.
Oh
pussy.
yeah. It was.
Was
yeah,
it
the
tight?
vagina was 17.
How was it? What did it feel like? Did it
tightest
feel?
pussy I've ever had sex with?
Did it feel like a pussy though?
Yeah, but I was also drunk and using a condom, so it's like I could barely fucking feel. You know,
Yeah,
you're
an
like-
armpit
you're
feels
oh.
like a pussy when you
Did it
shit.
stink like a pussy?
No, it didn't.
Was there a
Dude.
clit?
What?
Was there? Did you eat her out?
No. It was. I was fucking.
Sticking it in?
Yeah, I was
You know?
dude,
That's
no
like
foreplay.
licking like the lid of a yogurt. Just in a plastic thing.
Dude, I didn't know how to fucking eat pussy back
Does it
then.
get wet?
Well, she was middle aged. So we used lube. I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. We'll use lube. There was 1,000.
No, I know, but do trans
No,
girls?
No.
Trans vaginers?
don't get it.
Vaginers. But no, and I always say this, like I fucked her ass cheeks too, which is just no operation done on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just fucking. But I was talking to this. This came up on a date recently, and this girl's from Cleveland, but she had a thick fucking Philly accent. For some reason, it was like Philly-ish.
Yeah.
She goes, "Dude, you fucked a fucking tranny." She goes. So first off, I'm talking to this girl, and she's like, "Yeah, I like comedy. I listen to Stuff Island." Which is like the most. Look, those guys are funny, but the fact a woman knows that podcast is insane. It's like Shane Gillis's friends podcast.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, those dudes are funny as shit." And then she's like, "Yeah, you fucked a trans." She goes, "What do you got, fucking AIDS or something?" Brings it up like 5 times. She's like, "What do you got, fucking AIDS?"
Rod's wearing overalls and a trucker hat.
Yeah. She's
Drinking
like, "You probably don't want to
Campbell
fuck me because I'm not a fucking dude."
Dude, my penis would have fallen off my body.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's awesome.
Oh, dude, I would explore with a fully converted trans module. Yeah. A refurbished.
Well, it is very funny too because now that I'm on the apps, I'll meet a woman and I'm scared of it happening again because I'm like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm gay. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, my mind does kind of go back and forth. I'm like, look,
Are you gay if you bang a trans girl?
I don't think so. I think they're women, but I'm also very biased because I fucked one. So like it's part of my bit where I talk about it. I'm like,
No,
look,
I know, but like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do people consider you if you bang trans girls? Are you considered gay, or is it just banging a girl?
I think it's an in-between thing because I don't consider them women. I think that's unfair to women.
You're one of these gay guys who's like, I actually respect women so much. That's why I don't.
Yeah, that I'm transphobic.
Yeah, that's such a thing now. It's like guys in the liberal community are like, no, they are women because they're trying to get liberal pussy. And the guys in the conservative community are like, it's so disrespectful to strong women like J.K. Rowling, who I've always been a fan of. She's always been a feminist icon.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah, exactly. No, but that's I
understand how it's complicated. It's like it is. The fact you act like it's not a nuanced subject is hilarious. So people are like, no, it's either
Of
this.
course they listen. Most people know it's a nuanced subject. It's just the people that bitch about it act like it's not. But that's not the majority of people.
Yeah.
But anyways, get to your retarded point. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Like I think it's something different. I think it's like neither man nor woman.
It's a trans woman.
It's a
that
trans
makes the
woman.
most sense
Yeah.
to me. I'm like, it's not a biological woman. It's a trans woman.
Yeah.
No.
It's just called mental illness.
Yeah, because
Piece of shit.
I do think that most women, like if you were to tell them like you had sex with a trans woman, even if they identify as like totally not transphobic, they'd be weirded out. It's like having sex if you're like I'm
It's
bisexual.
crazy. It comes out on almost every first date I go on. I'm like, I pegged a trans woman one time. You're like, why are you bringing this up?
No one's even asking him.
Yeah. Pretty funny story. Just running my bit on it. There's something different about that vagina.
It's on his Tinder bio. I had sex with a fucking trans woman.
Yeah, but
I always get it confused. I don't know if I'm supposed to call them trans. This whole thing is like the most annoying thing to me with all the trans stuff and gay stuff the last few years is how intense it got. I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't like,
Right.
I don't do what the fuck you want. Like, call yourself what you, it doesn't matter.
Just
to
don't
me.
put your penis in my ass.
No, it's not even that. But it's like, I'm like, I just can't keep up with the terms and shit. I'm just like, there's just too much. I'm like, I just don't fucking care, dude. You know?
I definitely can keep up. I'm just refusing.
I could. Yeah,
I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, fucking
I
acknowledge them as marriage.
Dude, I probably could too, but I'm just like, it's just so much other shit I'm more interested in. And
Yeah.
like, you know,
The one that gets me is just referring to a person as they, because it's
Yeah.
like it just it throws off the entire way
You
I'm
think
trying
it's
to
plural.
speak.
Which is
Yeah.
really funny because I opened my dating preferences to they because I want to fuck chicks with blue hair. But then a bunch of dudes with nail polish would come on. And people are looking behind my shoulder. I'm like, nah, this is not. I'm not gay. But it's so funny, because it really doesn't matter if I was gay. But I'm so afraid of people thinking I'm gay
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
But it is... It's like I do get the non-binary thing because I'm like, if you have beard and tits, I'm like, I don't know what that makes sense. You're a they. You're not a dude or a
Yeah.
chick. You're somewhere in between. But then obviously there are like the chicks with armpit hair who I would like to have sex with.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm a they, and I'm like,
You know who I feel bad for in this whole debacle is the freak shows at circuses, because there's no longer any draw
Yeah,
for like
to having a
any one
beard
of
and
their
tits.
talent. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just a normal person you see walking down Second Avenue. Like you get a free.
You go to the Pride Parade, you're like, oh, the freak show's in town.
What is this? Some Barnum and Bailey bullshit?
good lord.
God damn! Get the kids.
Dude, we were talking about something being the Pride Parade that was really funny. I forgot what it was. God, was I talking to you? But there was something,
Maybe.
a hilarious idea of something being at the Pride Parade. I totally forgot what it was. I don't know if it was a cuck float or something. There's something weird.
Yeah, I always thought asexuals being at the Pride Parade is weird.
It makes no sense. That
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
makes no sense to me at all. Like that's something where it's like people like I just don't understand. If you don't want to have sex with anyone, I don't like. Why,
I saw somebody on asexual on the Field. So Field's like the kinky dating app.
Why
Yeah.
And
identify?
somebody had
Why tell people that you're not a
somebody
Yeah.
had that they were ace on there. I'm like, you're on the weird fuck app. Why do you have that you're not
Yeah,
sexual
yeah.
on you? This
That's
is
what they
sexual-
called Ace.
I
Like
think that's what.
ACE.
Yeah, Ace Ventura.
So we're gonna
Yeah.
use whole. We can no. I don't like that one for them, dude.
Popeye. We're cooking. The beginning,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what we
I
were
don't
talking
know
about. I
about
was like,
that.
oh,
Yeah.
fuck
I don't
this
understand the
episode.
thing with asexual things. I don't understand is why
They're called things.
you need a no. The thing like the subject of
Yeah, yeah.
calling yourself asexual is why do you need to tell people that you don't want to fuck any? Because that's what it is. You just don't want to have sex with anyone.
I think it's so you don't like. I think it's more of a thing like they don't want to like lead anyone on or something. Like they want to get it out there, so it's like
That's easy to do. I mean, I shut people down all the time.
Yeah, you're saying
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
high standards.
Yeah, like yeah, but I thought asexual is they don't like dudes, girls, or like anything at all.
they just don't like sex. I think, but from what I understand, is like they still
So who-
masturbate occasionally.
So they're like incel-y kind of people.
Yeah,
I
they
guess?
just masturbate to like a supermarket or something. I don't know what the fuck. Like, what do you?
There is an orientation like that where it's like people that are attracted to like inanimate objects.
Dude, there's
There was
one.
that TV show I remember. It was like a girl who like
Oh.
was attracted to a car.
You know what? That's kind of good
You
for
mean
everybody.
Transformer?
No, like a car. Like
That's
a,
kind of good for everybody.
Kind of. All women are
you
kind
can
of
rape a
attracted to
car.
cars.
Nobody gets hurt.
yeah, sure.
Somebody
ever-
just like you fucking bitch, just smashing the windows. And
Is that
coming
what
on it.
Trailer Hitch Bitch is about? Ever seen that video?
No, trailer hitch bitch is, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Someone who has sex with a trailer hitch. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, look, some for everybody.
Yeah, there's one sexuality where you're sexually attracted to yourself, and like
That's
it.
called being a fucking asshole. Dude.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that is. That's having your head so far up your fucking ass that you're an asshole.
Yeah,
I don't know. I had a pretty good set last night. I get where it's coming from.
I'm just gonna spin this thing around and fuck my own ass, dude.
That's where comedy is really funny. Where sometimes you're like, I really suck. Sometimes you're like, no, I'm God. I'm God.
Yeah.
I'm the most talented human being to ever walk this planet.
yeah. I definitely fluctuate in that regard. But yeah, the pride. I don't know. You know how I feel about pride. I don't need to.
You're really
The
proud.
only thing I'm all for that shit, dude. You know, and I say it all the time. I'm a big fan of the gay community, dude. You know what I mean?
Me too.
I'll say this. I'm happy the gay community opened everything else up for everybody else. Because now people are like, yeah, sure, spit in my mouth, piss on me.
Yeah.
And they're like, and I think part of that is the gay community is like, hey, don't shame people for their sexual preferences. So I'm like the stuff I'm into, who am I to judge a gay guy? I've been peed on before, you know?
I
It's
think
like,
shaming's wrong, but I think making fun of is perfectly fine. You know? What
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, I'll make fun of everything, yeah.
Like I have gay friends, and one of my buddies recently told me this dude he banged last week, and I'm like, dude, you're such a homo. You know what I mean? Like, I can't- obviously, there's someone I've been friends with for 15 years, so it's like, but yeah,
That's
I don't
always
know.
fun when you do something like that with somebody you don't know if they're cool. Like I said faggot in front of a gay friend recently, and I was like, all right, is this... and he laughed. I was like, oh, whew. Not like Adam, but like something I was just talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a stern talking to the other night after our late night show
Yeah.
at Star Bar because there's this girl who's gone to like 3 things we've done at Star Bar, and every time I've done a joke about like someone with Down syndrome,
Yeah.
and I guess
So
her-
you're not supposed to do that, Paddy. It's not funny.
and her sister has Down syndrome,
Yeah.
and she like came up on stage after the show, and she just like was like, you should not make jokes about that like at all. She's like, they can't defend themselves and like blah blah blah.
Yes, they can. Have you ever followed
Yeah.
them?
Yeah. Have you seen them with nunchucks? But
You seen him on the bench, dude?
but she was like, and you shouldn't make fun of like black people and stuff. And I'm like, if I'm in a room full of black people, I'm making fun of black people.
You have
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
It's
What
like,
else are you supposed to do?
That's like, first of all, they like it. Like, that's what they want. And then she's like, well, was this room full of like people with special needs? And I was like, fuck, I hope not. And she got so mad.
Was everyone laughing?
I was like, I'm kidding. Yeah, everyone around her was laughing. But dude, I feel like I handled it well because she was kind of just giving me, and I'm like, I'm very sorry you were offended and all this. I'm
I'm
like,
sorry that God doesn't love your family and they gave you one of the fucked
Yeah.
up ones.
I'm like, I don't want to make anyone upset ever.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
Dude, same.
good.
Yeah.
yeah, no fucking way.
Yeah, it
dude.
sucks, but
I
like,
get complaints a lot.
yeah.
That's why I stopped because my therapist is like, you should hang out after shows to meet chicks. And then there's always somebody walking up
Yeah.
there like, my dad killed himself. I didn't like that joke. And I was like, my friends have killed him. Like, that,
Yeah.
that was one thing. This British guy came up and it was like, there was a drunk, rowdy audience. They weren't listening to anything. And then, like, I had a suicide joke and they all went, ooh, Kevin.
Where were you?
There's the pair. And I was like, did Kevin kill himself? And then after the show, this like drunk guy comes up. And they were just being disruptive, telling guy goes, hey, you did the joke about suicide. I really didn't like that. And I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, what do I care for?
And I was, he wasn't also, the way I make it sounds like he was a retarded
not
British koala bear.
paying
He's like, oh, you know what, yeah, oh, you go over here making your retard jokes, not for me.
No, for my
Yeah,
winky
you didn't
dinky.
That was a
Right.
character I did in elementary school. It was the
Shag.
retarded British guy where I would just come back, hello, how's it going? My name is Nigel. Nice to meet you.
King Charles.
I'm really happy that never made it on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I did that because you did the thing where you're like, oh no, I've had friends who've killed myself because it's like a quick, like, no, I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Like she was saying that. I'm like, I have an uncle with Down syndrome. I'm just making up members of my family. Like, I got an aunt who's a bird. You think I can?
People just need to fuck off, dude.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like-
who get,
it's
I don't
always
listen
the
to
hottest
crazy
girl,
people
too.
I don't listen to crazy people on the train that say crazy shit. I don't understand why. Like, I'm not gonna try changing someone I don't know's mind about something.
Yeah.
like, it's crazy to me where I feel like we've gotten to this point where it's like I feel like maybe it just started. I started paying attention since I'm like an adult now, but it's like how people like want to change the way you think as far as like politics or serious issues. It's like, dude, fucking, I don't care what anyone thinks. Like if it doesn't,
No.
I don't care. Like I don't give a. So it's like, why do you
have
care
a
what I say?
responsibility to change everybody?
I love when people think
crazy.
differently. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
crazy. It's like, wow,
Should.
you
That's
had
why I like
like
having sex with girls from other countries. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like people should be
they
fucking
can't even
thinking.
think at all. It's illegal.
I like having sex
Yeah, they
with
think I'm a
women.
millionaire,
Yeah.
but they think so differently.
Yeah, 100%.
What's the craziest thing you've lied about to get? Have you lied about anything crazy?
To get laid?
Yeah.
I'm sure I have, but I can't think of anything right now.
When I was like younger, I would lie about my age, and then I would tell girls like right before I put my dick inside of them, I'd be like, I'm actually 18 or something like that.
No, I don't think I've ever.
You're actually a pedophile.
Yeah. And you're a pedophile. This is like,
You're just a Chris Hansen
I'm
guy.
15.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever lied.
You fuck her, then you leave, then you walk in a suit, and you're like, oh, how are you doing this evening, Jessica? With a camera crew behind you.
Could you imagine? Like, you think this girl's like 23 or something like that? She goes, suck your dick. She goes, and you're a pedophile. Oh, that's just sketchy. You're like, fuck.
That's pretty awesome.
Wouldn't it be funny if, like, we didn't know this about pedophiles, but, like, if they had sex with, like, an of-age woman, they'd just, like, melt like a wick? They're like,
There's some serious side effect that happens. Yeah.
oh, that'd be great. Did
Yeah.
you ever know anyone who was a pedophile, who, like, became a pedophile?
No.
I don't
was
think-
think-
Not yet. There's a lot of time.
Teachers. There was a teacher at my old school,
Okay.
at my middle school, and he got in trouble. He had he was like a swim coach, so he had like a goggles tan on his mugshot, which is just like fucking hilarious.
There was a guy I used to work with who I used to work at the Boston Globe, like printing the newspaper. And there was a guy I worked with who got arrested at like a rest stop, jerking off, like in a car. And
See that
Oh,
let's
that's so
cut him some
unfair.
slack. There's certain
but
sex crimes.
but listen, it got printed in the newspaper. Like the guys they all worked together and they were literally printing his mugshot in the article in the newspaper.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Also, you working for the Boston, I picture you just being like a 1940s paper boy. You
Oh.
get your papers,
No,
just like with the
I
hat.
The
went
notes
out.
stuffed in.
If I was
Yeah,
born if I was born like I probably would have done that. We probably all would have at one point if we were born like 100 years ago. Like as
Then I
kids.
would have known some pedophiles.
Has
I was
anyone-
a paper boy.
Has anyone got the new photos of fucking Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Does it bother you when people do your accent?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, that's another thing. Yeah, no, not really, because no one ever does it in like a bad way.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part. But it does bother me how people like what we're going back to how you can't make fun of certain people and stuff and certain accents. It's like people. I'm not even lying. Every single day when I'm out and I meet people I've never met before, which is a lot of doing comedy, people do my accent to me every single time.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, dude, if I was Korean, this would never happen.
Yeah, then you do like one Indian guy, and they're like, "Hey, not cool." Okay, those are
Yeah.
come
And
on.
I'm like, there's
they're
way-
not doing well in this country.
There's
Okay, they're
way
they're-
more
they're
Indian
doctors and-
people than there are people in Massachusetts. You
Oh,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't do a Chinese accent. I'm like, bro, you know how many? There's probably more Chinese people in America than there are people in Massachusetts who talk like me.
Yeah.
You know, it's
But
like
it's also funny too because it's like people. It's so funny when it comes to like, especially rednecks. People are just like, "My brain's full of diarrhea, and I'll do like this," and then people be like, "Okay, yeah, but you can't do a Mexican voice." You're like, "That's so
it makes no sense.
And people
yeah.
do
Yeah.
like people are like, look. To be fair, I did some shows in Chattanooga recently. Some of those people's brains are literally just diarrhea, and I
Yeah.
do look.
Yeah, but
down.
there's morons everywhere. though.
Totally, and that is the thing too, where it's like I'm sure there's tons of people in Chattanooga that have a thick Southern accent. I have family members and people like that, and it's like that are smart.
They're brilliant. Yeah.
But it is just really funny that people just feel they're just like you could just be as offensive. But that's why like one thing I get is I actually really do get not offended, but I get kind of like ugh when I see a shitty Southern accent. But to be fair, I also suck at accents. Like I'm doing a
me too.
Jamaican accent now. I'm like, oh, it kind of sucks. But it's like so I understand a little. I understand people being offended just by the lack of quality.
Yeah.
yeah.
But people get away more with the lack of quality with Southern accents. Where they're like, "My name is
But I don't understand, like, and it's like a similar thing. It's like maybe I've just never got a proper explanation on it, but it's like I don't understand exactly why doing certain accents are bad. Like, what is bad about doing a Chinese accent?
Chinese accent's my favorite one.
You can do a good one.
But why? But see, this
Can
is
you
the
do it
thing.
for the rest of the episode, just do a Chinese accent.
Just do a Chinese accent.
People just want to like.
you have a
rest
subtle
of
one,
the
like he's gonna pull a trick on somebody. Like,
Yeah.
it's like nothing bad.
People
happening
say
here."
it's bad. People say it's bad, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not bad, but I've never got an explanation for why it's bad.
So like the black accent, I get sometimes that some people can do a really bad black accent and it sounds
It's just dangerous to do a black one
yeah.
because at any point a police car could show up and shoot you.
Why is it bad? That's what I want to know. No,
Because like if you're making, I get that if you're making like okay, so let's bring it back to like blackface, right? Like back in those days, like I get why that was really offensive because you were like diminishing a race of people to just this one thing. But now I think times have changed. Like now accents, I don't think were funny 10 years ago. I was like, they're kind of funny, but now they're really funny, especially because you're not supposed to do them. So it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
funny. But also like somebody brought this point up with comedy. It's like sometimes comedy is taking a trend and exaggerating it to the most comedic point. So like if you had like a frat bro who their letters were R.A.P. at the E at the top, like that was their fraternity letters. You're like, okay, obviously not all fraternity guys are rapists,
Yeah.
but you take a trend and you over exaggerate it to a. It's funny that something would be that obvious, like over the top. So that's why,
Yeah.
like, when somebody's like doing like a Chinese guy doing something like super Chinese, it can be hilarious because I go, no, they're not all like that. But it's
Yeah.
funny because you're like, it's funny that you're exaggerating
Yeah.
something that far to where it's like not.
I think it's like offensive to think that the audience is too stupid to recognize that
that's
they
what I'm-
don't get that it's a joke.
that's what I'm. That would be like me genuinely getting offended because
yeah.
people people mock my accent.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't, to be honest, it doesn't bother me, but it's like, I've never understood that where it's like, it's one of those like quick things where people like, you can't do that accent or you can't sound like that because it's bad. And it's like, well, why is it bad? You
Yeah.
never, it's one of those things you never get any answer.
I'm also though. I'm at one point of doing stand up that I'm like, I'm
Couldn't care less.
I'm
Yeah,
past
fuck.
Karen because it's also
Yeah.
like it's like, dude, if you don't like it, it's fine. It's like
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna like stand and be like, actually, it's okay that I talked about banging a trans
Yeah.
woman because I'm an ally. And it's like, no, but some people like
Yeah,
it. Some
people
don't.
mock my accent every day. I'm a victim. That's kind of why I want to know why it's bad, so I can actually act like it's fucking.
You just cry. It hurt my fucking feelings.
Yeah. Like I want to know like why it's bad. You know, the worst is when people like ask, like, oh, like, where are you from? It's like, dickhead, you already know the answer. You know, it's like you are like, and I just do the same shit every time. I'll say like Cambodia or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
Didn't
fuck it.
I love the accent too. There, Cambodia, the R thing.
Get out of my house.
didn't people think you were faking it too?
People always do.
That's so
Well, there is. I
crazy.
heard there's an Asian comic who absolutely faked-
hams it up.
He hams it like there's other Asian
What,
comics
is
that
he
hate him
Asian?
because they're like you're doing something more racist than a white guy doing an
Yeah.
Asian accent because you're actually convincing somebody. You're like, oh, we do a stand up now, yeah, and you're like, just like you intrigued by everything. You're like, oh, microphone, and
Yeah.
it's like, and the Asian guys get really offended because they're like, dude, this is more offensive because like a white guy doing an Asian accent is like, okay, he's doing an over
Yeah,
exaggeration,
you're doing like a
but people are
character.
thinking this is a
Yeah,
real
yeah.
human
Yeah.
being.
Dude, I think it's more offensive to like do a joke that involves a gay person and like you pad it with all these things and you're like, no, I love gay people and like all this, and then like the punchline of the joke is like has nothing to do with like them being gay or anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like it's just making them come out as a hero. It's like that's way more offensive because you're not being authentic. Like you're you're
Yeah.
doing that. There's no way every single person, especially if you go into comedy, which is like comedy is supposed to be this ground where we all are like fucking dickheads. And, like, like just say the things that everyone's not.
No, they're
saying.
genius. They're modern philosophers.
Yeah,
Dude, I
well-
said that one time, and if I could have a time machine, I'd go back and stick a gun in my mouth when I was like a month into comedy. Dude, I'd make my girlfriend watch like a Greg Giraldo documentary, and I'm like, this is what it's all about. I'm like, dude, no wonder she fucking broke up with me. That's just terrible. Dude, one time I told my girlfriend, I'm like, we should go see Legion of Skanks. Why would she want to watch an offensive live podcast? It's so crazy looking back. I'm like, yeah, that is a nightmare. And then she saw me doing open mic bits, and I was just like 9/11, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's very fair. Those grounds of,
We're all kind of retarded because like
Totally, yeah.
our like perceptions and everything change like every couple of years. Like when I started comedy, I was like, there would be no greater thing. I would be never more proud than if I was to be on Legion of Skanks.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I'm like, I really don't care to ever be on Legion of Skanks. It's just not as cool
that's
as
life,
I thought
though.
it was.
That's life. Like,
Yeah.
there's shit I thought was cool 7 years ago that I couldn't care less
Yeah.
about now.
Yeah.
Bam Margera being Bam Margera.
Yeah. Now I like Bam Margera. I used to not like him, and now I'm a
No,
huge
I like.
fan.
I've said this 1,000 times, but I completely stand by this. He's the only one sticking to the name Jackass. The modern Jackass
Yeah.
show is so fucking lame, dude. I
heard the movie was like good.
the new movie was fun, but their introductions were terrible. They're like, what if we had a hot chick on Jackass? Like, why would that be funny? They should have a fucking like.
oh yeah, she's
They
a
should
comedian.
they should
right?
have a woman named
Yeah.
like Deborah who has like no teeth, and they're like, we're gonna go punch
Yeah,
Deborah
yeah,
in the
yeah,
face.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
they should get alcoholics from bars and throw them on
Yeah,
the show.
yeah.
Really take advantage of people with severe
It's
drug
very
problems.
gluten free now.
Yeah, and then there's
But-
this guy, like, dude, I watched they did Jackass Shark Week. I was watching the other night. I'm like, this will be nice. And there was a guy who, like, got bitten by a shark. And he's like, it's like a year later, and he's like, you know, I really got to face my fears and get out there in the water. He starts crying. And he's like, I'm really scared to be in the water with the sharks again, but I think it's really about over. I'm like, what the fuck is
This
this?
was on
Yeah.
Jackass.
Yeah, I was like, these people are supposed to be drug addicts who are ruining their
Yeah,
lives for
yeah.
our entertainment.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Like, it,
You wouldn't have got to where you are now to release a movie if that's what it was.
dude,
No.
they were behind the scenes. Like, I think Bert Kreischer talked about it. Like, literally, they were doing so many pain pills and stuff like that. And it's like, that was entertaining. And like, look, it's like, this is just what that is. It's like, don't
Yeah.
pretend like it's not that.
That guy,
And
Bert Kreischer was on Jackass.
no. So he met Johnny Knoxville when they were shooting Jackass, like before the show got made. And Johnny Knoxville came to Florida State, and like him and Bert Kreischer took like opiates and like watched Jackass. And he's like, dude, this shit's fucking sick, right? And it was like them getting hit in the balls. He's like, this is going to be a huge hit. Or Bert Kreischer made that up. He's like, actually, Morgan Freeman met me before his acting career. Like, I don't know which of these stories are.
Mr. Morgan Freeman?
Yeah. Morgan Freeman comes up. You're one of the funniest guys I've ever met. Me and Morgan Freeman.
God, I fucking hate Bert.
Really, I like him a lot, but
But he's Florida, dude. He's got your Florida.
yeah,
ties.
no, I like
get
him a
it.
lot.
I
But
get it.
I just also love. I one thing that is dumb too is the sacredness of all this stuff. Where like people are
Yeah.
like, you see people on Joe Rogan and they're like, and I'm like, dude, don't like just have fun. Like you can make
Yeah.
fun of other comics as long as you're not like, I hate this guy. Well, you
Yeah.
just did that, but
Who gives a fuck though? Sometimes you don't like it's not like it's anything personal. It's like just because we do the same thing does like who gives a fuck?
yeah, we should be
You know,
QAing
There's
comedy.
great musicians who I don't like their fucking music. So what the fuck is the difference
Yeah, it's-
with comedians?
Also, what
you
we
know?
have to understand
I
is
don't like Sheryl Crow, but like I understand why she's like good.
the higher generation of comics like Rogan, Tom Segura, Bill Burr, all those guys. Like we're never gonna like really get to meet them or like do anything with them.
Yeah, we
You
probably
speak for
will.
yourself.
Yeah.
But, our group is the group that we're coming up with, and we have to remain loyal to each other.
No,
you
I'm
know?
gonna fuck everything. I'm gonna be a fucking. I'm gonna be a suicide bomber. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna.
See, I would
once-
love to-
Once we all finally meet up, I'm gonna take that vest off and fucking destroy
that-
everybody.
The thing I want to know is, do you think there's any Rogan episodes that just didn't come out?
Maybe
That is legendary to go on there and be so wild that he's like, look, we could do Alex Jones, but we could not put any of this out.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been people that have said things, and
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
the only people like I know Tim Dillon goes at Rogan a little bit. He's so like intelligent with that stuff.
Yeah.
But like the one time like Rogan was talking about how like Candace Owens is like he's like I'm friends with black people. Like Candace Owens is my friend. He's like, yeah, that's like being friends with me and saying you like gay people.
Dude, Candace Owens fucking hot.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Did you know her name wasn't originally Candace Owens?
It was Shaniqua Owens.
It was Candace Pussy Queef.
Yeah. What?
Like Candace Pussy Queef? Of course I can.
Oh, okay. That took me a second.
Oh.
Dude, I'm, there's something hot about conservative chicks. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
It fucking. It's
because they don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, that
Just
is-
like
yeah.
banging an
She's just
ignorant.
being mean to call. There's some video there. She's like, next.
Yeah.
Next. That's not a question. I'm like, why is this hot to me? I don't agree with anything
Yeah.
she's
I don't
saying.
even know
but
what
it's-
she looks like. I know who she is, but I'm like off the top of my head, I can't even think. What she
Imagine a
looks like.
beautiful black queen. I told you about that video, right? Dude, there's this white guy who talks super black one time, and he went through when Rogan got in trouble for saying the N-word. This is one of my favorite videos I've ever seen. Rogan got in trouble, obviously, for saying the N-word. And this guy started
you can
making
just see my penis.
this guy started making a compilation of all the white comics who've said the N-word, which in the 2000s was every single person
Yeah.
besides Seinfeld. It's like literally every comic said it. So he's like, here's Tom Segura. Is a white guy. He's like one of Joe Rogan's friends. Here's his Comedy Central half hour. And Tom Segura has like a bit where he says the N-word. He goes, "Here's Tom Segura on a podcast with Miss Pat." And they're talking about the N-word. Tom Segura's like, "I'd never say the N-word." The guy pauses it. He goes, "You never say the N-word, Tom Segura. You said it in your Comedy Central half hour, but you wouldn't dare say it when you're sitting next to a beautiful black queen." It's just a white guy saying this. Is so fucking funny to be like,
People are lunatics.
a beautiful black queen. Like, as a white guy saying that is the funniest sentence.
Yeah.
People are fucking lunatics.
Yeah.
I said it to a group of black guys one time when I was really drunk.
Beautiful
the
black queen or
N-word?
the N-word? Yeah.
The N-word.
What'd you say?
I was like, me and my friend were like fucking hammered. Same friend who did the, I was talking about him earlier. I forget what he did, but we were just hammered watching football, and there's this table of black guys, and we were kind of like talking to him about the game, like kind of chirping him and stuff. And then like we ended up going over and like sitting with them. It was like 9 black guys, me and my friend, very white.
Wait, were you at a bar?
We were at a bar, yeah. We are at Hair of the Dog. We are outside, and one of them was
Wasn't
like
even that long ago.
this was like right before I quit drinking. One of them was like making fun of me, and I just said, "N-word, shut the fuck up!" And they all just like burst into laughter. And I was like, and the next day, I didn't remember saying it until the next day. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Like checking, like,
Yeah.
do I have any fucking knife wounds?
Yeah. Well, it is realistic too. It's like I've always said this. Saying the N-word is like, you ever watch those, especially in comedy? It's one of those things like, you ever watch those movies like Blades of Glory where they're like, this trick is against the rules. You can't do it. But if you pull it off, you somehow win
the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like that scene in Rush Hour when Jackie Chan says it, you're like, that is the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because he goes like, Chris Tucker's like, do everything I do, just follow my speed. And he hears him say the N-word a bunch. He's like, oh, okay. Here's the bartender. He goes, "What's up, my beep?" And then just
I forgot about it.
Dude,
I haven't seen Rush Hour
Oh my
in
god,
so
so
long, dude.
fun. We had a Peruvian exchange student, and my family's just dying laughing. The Peruvian's like, "Why is that funny?" Like, this is the funniest thing in the world. Because this Chinese guy has no idea that he's just a. What is up, my beep? But I think
Rush Hour 2 was such good movies, dude.
Oh, it's fucking
It
amazing.
was so
dude.
funny.
Yeah, Chris Tucker's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Him on Epstein's Island is still the funniest thing. Oh, that's my favorite conspiracy. People are now saying that Matthew Perry was murdered.
Oh, because of like an Epstein?
Yeah.
Why
Somebody
was he on the island?
No, people just think he's like. People are like this. One guy said pedophiles are bad.
I
and
killed
so
him.
Hollywood's trying to take him down.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
"You're fucking
Like,
retards,
that's not on
dude."
TV every day.
The crazy thing was his fucking what's it called? Because all of his things were like, people are saying there's something called like Operation Dark Knight or something like that, where they're like. And then all of like Matthew Perry's stuff was just like, I like Batman. I'm like, no, he's just a pillhead. It's not a weird thing.
I never watched Friends.
Neither did I. My favorite thing though is his last post. You saw his last
In the
post,
hot
right?
tub, right?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
His last post was him being like, just chilling in a warm hot tub.
I
He
mean,
goes,
if
"Matt-"
you had a hot tub like that at your house, though, it's like it makes sense that you would be in that thing every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that picture. I was like, damn. I mean, did he ever go? I know he's a drug addict and a drunk. Did he ever go broke, or is he doing all right financially?
No, they were saying he makes like $20 million a year on
The
residuals. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, also
Good for him.
the thing about him, he really should have gone conservative. Like that's how you when you're that's your career. You, if you start to become like a B-list celebrity, you just start talking conservative, and then you become like that guy.
Yeah. Because he was like actually a good actor. Like he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like good. He was like I
That's
don't.
such an iconic show, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that story about Norm Macdonald and him?
No.
Because like this was at like the height of Friends, and I guess like Harvey Weinstein was at a party, and he was talking about Matthew Perry, and he's like, he's a genius, and like everyone's like agreeing with him, and Norm comes in, and he's like, what is he, good at math or something? I said Weinstein was like so upset, and everyone was like, dude, you can't like make him look bad. But like he's like, I don't, and then turns out that
Yeah, who
Yeah,
gives a
he's
fuck?
he was a terrible guy.
horrible rapist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the dude. I found out at a comedy show, and I was hosting it, and the guy whose show it is, he goes, "Dude, you got to make the announcement." I was like, "Why?" He goes, "You got to make an announcement." So I go up there, and he goes, "You have to go. Matthew Perry just died, and be really serious, and then introduce the next comic fun." So I went up there, I go, "Guys,
Where was this?
it was a backyard show in Brooklyn, like last Saturday, and I was like, guys, I have terrible news. Matthew Perry of Friends actually died." Everybody goes, "Oh, are you serious?" And I go, "Yes, I'm serious. Anyways, you guys ready for your next comic? He's hilarious. And then like that's just what the showrunner wanted me to do. I don't think it was that funny of a thing. And then later on I go up, guys, I have terrible news. David Schwimmer just died in a jet ski accident. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But Matthew Perry's totally dead.
That part was true because they couldn't like play on their phones. But that part was true.
Other than the fact that the only reason I know the name Matthew Perry is because he put out a book like a year ago and he wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And it was always on the news. Like, if you would have told me, like, I don't know, before that, like 2 years ago, Matthew Perry, I'm like, is that a hockey player? Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, he's not, to me, he's not.
Is he related
famous.
to Luke Perry? Luke Perry's the Dawson's Creek guy, I think.
I don't
That guy's
know.
dead too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Did he
They got
did he
Tyler
drown
Perry
in
still
Dawson's
alive.
Creek?
Gives a fuck.
Tyler Perry. Yeah.
He's
Tyler
funded by
Perry's
BET,
friend.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler-
We are at an hour. What do you guys want to promote?
News from Bed, the podcast on YouTube. Check that out. And Paddy is Funky on Instagram.
Ryan O'Toole podcast, and it's Ryan O'Toole on it's Ryan O'Toole, ITS Ryan O'Toole. All my shit's on there, so fucking follow shit there.
Yeah, listen to you fucking pussies.
Well, what am I gonna start doing? Listing 5 things off, you know?
That's how promotion works. Yeah.
Well, go on my Instagram. It's all there, okay? If you
Yeah.
don't want to, then fuck off.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for
Bye.
listening. Thank you so much.